It was very tough to deal with.
We got to talk about Corrode because they have a Waylay themselves.
Yeah, it is going to be Waylay versus Waylay, but my talking point again is going to be Flashback going onto the Yoru. I think he was incredible in their first series versus Liquid. I think the interplay that they had with Waylay Yoru is better than what we just saw with Waylay Neon. Now, does it necessarily mean that that's going to be more of a worry? No, this is a much better map for the side of NRG. They are 5-0 on it over the last few months, and I think they're very comfortable here.
Without a doubt. I mean, they've certainly got the reps up against EDG. I love, though, again, that we're seeing this shift from DRX away from what they were playing before. Hyunmin's looking so comfortable. I do think that whilst the Neon worked, with the Yoru, this is so much more oppressive if you're not used to playing against it. And NRG just said that was their problem.
If that was their problem, map 1, they have to be used to it now, because if they don't win here, Doug and Ender, they'll have to go through the lowest.
Thank you so much, Jinsu. Yeah, Ender, Tom was talking on the desk about how Corrode is so much more of a comfortable map for them, and you mentioned their record, this, that, and the other. And I mean, nobody looks comfortable in the face of a Waylay Yoru. That's pushing you the way that they are. I think this is something that they're going to have to solve here as well.
Yeah, this is going to be something that is in the back of their minds as well. They were challenged in that previous map, and while, yeah, the Yoru is a little bit of a change, that pace at which DRX were able to play on their execs, on their attacking side, was simply overwhelming. And I think it'll be important for NRG to seize the reins themselves.
Yeah, and that's exactly where they're going to be starting. That knife tagging 3 right at the beginning. But they turn away and turn their attention A.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll just see Som play in this position, Paranoia ready to go, just to stall out, allow Mata to shift in from Link.
Oh, I mean, women can just fully TP in and then, or excuse me, dash in and then TP out. It doesn't really matter what utility hits them.
Yeah,
but they fill in behind it.
Now up into elbow as well, but NRG have 3 players here. It's going to be very hard to make forward progress for DRX.
We say that.
I mean, they've got a flash on the Yoru.
We say that.
That's it.
There's that flash. And there's the snap onto Brock. Flashback, picking up right where he left off.
And now the 2 NRG members slip away from the site, play inside their own smoke. The map's also gone quiet. This is a little concern for NRG. Now the fights start coming online. NRG back into the thick of it, but DRX just cut them down. One by one they go. Only Ethan to try and stop it, but it's not going to happen.
Scuba's going to show up real late into this 1v3, and yeah, they're weak. And Scuba's been good. But he's really going to have to show up here. It doesn't matter how good you are domestically. International stages are where you make a name for yourself. And Scuba has been thrust into the spotlight now. Spike ticks away, and Scuba has to play this so carefully, so quietly. No challenge given. No free fight afforded. Fully denying any advantage they might be able to pull. And so on the tap, he finds one. That's freeing, one of the weaker ones, but Flashback gets his 3, and that's the pistol. That's 3 pistols in a row for DRX, if I'm not mistaken.
It absolutely is. Not just that, it was both, conversions of the Antico and the bonus back on Haven. So we're going to be looking at that. I think you see here just a masterclass out of Flashback. It's only him with a piece of utility to actually reach into the A site.
We don't usually win pistols, who cares?
He was able to lay out Brock behind the box, but yeah.
I mean, that's true.
I care. Also, let's work on that, I think.
I think NRG fans would like it if they started to win a couple, I don't know.
Yeah, that might simplify the games. That might stop them from having to make the silly comebacks.
Pacey, the flash over the top. They're fully running it down A. You've got a little bit of trouble. Freeing will get one, but fall away.
Unfortunately, it's a FPX buy for DRX, so nothing for NRG to be able to try and reclaim, unless they were able to get Flashback here, but he can just teleport across the other side. Yoru things.
Yeah, find safe pass to choose. Scuba will be up close. Just a classic, though.
Spike planted.
I think once again, DRX have shown that they can make these teams on the other side of the stage look incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I also think that they don't really have to tell NRG any plan in the second round. DRX have plenty of tape up against NRG, right? NRG are 5-0 on this map. Right. They played a lot of rounds. DRX have never played this comp for NRG to be able to download it. They're playing single duelist back in the Stage 2 playoffs. And so NRG going for a bit of a rundown round here means that they can't even try to analyze and break down what DRX's approach is going to be because they just kind of full sent it and blew up the round from the get-go.
Yeah, nothing really to learn there. And so DRX will get their second, and once again, NRG fans, cover your ears for a second because we have to go back into a couple of hours ago, and we need to go back into the history of DRX converting the bonus both halves on Haven. They're here once more.
NRG have to be able to deal on this round. And for me, I always want to look at Brock's Odin. You know, NRG really made a name for themselves with the complete overuse of the Odin on Corrode and Lotus.
Right, the Broden, some might say.
I mean, Brock is always making sure he can buy that, even if it means light armor. This is 4 players on light armor, and DRX have bought up a few guns.
That's big.
I mean, it absolutely is. And yet it doesn't make this game any less simple. DRX have a few players up in B main right now sending Bane into mid to threaten some space here with a Prowler. Maybe pull some attention back into mid so NRG just can't full camp down on this B site. And my question is whether or not Flashback is going to be able to pop the ultimate on this round. Do you actually send that down in numbers to try and convert yet another bonus?
Yeah, I mean, round 3, you've got it early.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you would have loved to see NRG peek forward for a pick, but here he goes.
The dimensional drift will pave the way, or at least get a little bit of info.
And they all dodged the knife.
But there are 2 here, and they know exactly where they are. Women behind enemy lines. TP's back away. And Flashback once again nipping at his heels, looking to take the fight. And it's a disaster once more for NRG. Saw him the last standing.
Spike planted.
They crumble.
Shadows.
Flashback has silenced NRG in these opening 3 rounds. Completely devastating this site, popping the ult down in numbers. There's not a round left for Som to play.
No. The bonus again.
And this is where the memories of Haven starts to surface once more. You know, you could have written off Haven and said, okay, it's DRX's map pick. We've got our 2 best in the pool coming up for NRG. But now as things start going horribly wrong on your defensive side of all things, those doubts are right at the fore.
I don't think they know where Som is, but he's not even going to take that swing. Just hang on to that rifle and carry it into the next round. We'll take a look at this one more time. This was off the back of an opener too, but this double dive is just...
I mean, the utility didn't even crush NRG. It was just Flashback's flash.
Yeah.
That's it. There was a lot sent that way. There was some paranoia, but it didn't hit them. He wasn't playing off of that. It looked a lot more complicated than it actually was. Every single round has just been Flashback sending one flash and winning it.
Time to jump.
7-1 for the duelist, for DRX. Really getting away with whatever he wants, whatever DRX wants, to be honest.
Now the thing is, with NRG going for light armors in the last round and having max loss bonus, losing 3 rounds in a row, they still have a buy on this. So it's not as devastating as it was back for them on Haven when they were forced to save here.
Yeah, yes. If this one goes sideways, though, might be telling a different tale. And DRX again continue this jarring, this disorienting change of pace.
And yet NRG can sit relatively comfortable knowing they have forward information in A main. Yes, mid is going to be a little bit light, but they're okay with that. And even if DRX try to come back into B, well, I was going to say they have the knife on Ethan to slow it down. Now that is not an option, and this pop could rip them apart.
Scuba doesn't have a spit. There's a flash, and there's the wall. And again, it's the double dash. It's again, Flashback right behind him. Again, an opener for DRX. Brock tries to do his best, but he's just an S-domino to fall.
30 seconds left.
NRG had absolutely nothing to slow down that hit. That pulling, that when Hyunmin goes into the site, just diving into the center there, all of a sudden everyone at NRG is turning to deal with him. And that's exactly when Flashback is coming in, popping them, ruining their hold. This is an NRG without answers.
I mean, a change of scenery, a different map, but it feels to me like the approach for DRX is incredibly similar. And it's the same problem that NRG are going to have to solve. And Yinsu was talking about it on the desk. Bonkar said, we didn't know what to do with that comp. We didn't know how to deal with it. It doesn't look like they do here either.
Yeah, might be time to course correct, readjust with a timeout, because NRG, one of the weaknesses with their comp is they don't have that typical Sentinel utility. Their B site is weak, and teams in Americas have tried to exploit this. It's limited to success, but like you can see right here, apart from a Viper wall, and sometimes that spit, as you call it, coming down, there's very little stall, and both a Yoru teleporting across and a Waylay jumping over it can ignore that Viper utility. The only honest piece of utility you have to stop that hit from coming in is the KO knife. So Ethan needs to stop using that, I think, for information, to use that to stall out hits.
Yeah. Or what, just start ignoring the Waylay, dashing onto the site, because you know the real threat is the Yoru behind you?
Yeah, except
I mean,
the one time you ignore Waylay
right,
is when Hyunmin's going to sit in there and punish you for it.
Right.
Think
There.
another idea for NRG, like we saw in the last round with the step into A main from Mata, could be take forward space. You see B main right now, they've got 2 players creeping forward. Now, this isn't going to matter in this round where NRG have 2 guns and DRX are headed towards A, but these are the types of ideas you can start weaving in there to disrupt DRX.
That was one of the guns. Mata had a rifle. NRG, look, they've flatlined. No signs of life. Who's the spark? It's not Scuba either. As DRX, particularly women, just continues to push forward. Just continues. He just body bags, toe tags him, and he just does whatever he wants.
It's just wild watching this. You know, we come where we've watched NRG play this map so many times in Americas. Usually they're the squad that's doing what DRX are doing right now. Just knocking you sideways. And, well, now freeing, playing with his food right behind him. Can take 2 to finish it off with a flawless round.
A shell of the team we saw the first week. Meanwhile, DRX putting the rest of the field on notice.
The way I see it, Doug,
Yeah.
I think NRG have really 3 main options they can play with coming into these future rounds.
Okay.
Bonkar is going to be calling a timeout, trying to adjust here. And 2 of them I've talked about. I think A, you can try to take that forward fight in mains, set up there so that the scrap is going to be in the main where you're not so concerned about that set piece of a Waylay diving above you and that teleport in behind. The second one is you play on sites, but Ethan has to be way more mindful of when his knife is up and using that to interrupt the hit, and you've got to have bodies behind that to fight. And the other one is, and this is the Hail Mary, you need to try and start blowing up the middle of the map, threatening on flanks. You give them the site, but you make the round state so chaotic that it sort of forces DRX to keep fighting forward, and in that chaos, try to win.
And which is kind of what they were doing on Haven, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they fully reverted to this retake approach on sites.
It was the last 2 rounds of the half where they pushed out through B out of mid. They pushed down A long, and those rounds did go well for NRG, so it wouldn't shock me to see them try to incorporate something similar, at least in the next few rounds.
And so what is the answer for the number 2 seed from the Americas region? What are the adjustments on the other side of this timeout? Because for DRX, the pace has been unyielding, unrelenting.
Where are you?
A little bit of pressure across the middle of the map. An eye for a knife.
Yeah, NRG have been defaulting this knife down bottom mid at the start of rounds, and
So a real deep smoke in B main that DRX just had to use a dog to clear, scared of the early aggression B main, like
well,
you were suggesting.
there was even a flash tossed over the top of B there into main. So NRG are showing a lot of force towards the B main side. They're not actually in there, but it's done enough to push DRX the other way. Although, that being said, that doesn't really change the outcome of events for NRG. DRX have been very successful on these A-pops anyways.
And so they freeze, they cut noise, they gather up, and then they just explode out onto the site. That seems like that'll be approach for DRX here.
Yeah, as the split comes into A, I wonder if it's going to be difficult for Mata to quickly pinch into A.
Only 2 on site. The dart's not going to do a ton. They try to cancel out on the other side.
Bane
Odin gets a little bit, but Bane gets more. And now they can call off the site if they want to rotate away. It's just going to be on Som.
Yeah, Som, who's tucked over into the corner on the left side here. Now, Bane is low HP, but he's going to be the bait for DRX. Som needs 2 here to give NRG a chance.
There's his 1. How much more can he do? 2, 3! And all of a sudden, they're up in numbers. Women should be able to get the spike down, though. And now left in a 1v2. He has been a demon. But this time, he falls. NRG, they get on the board.
That is just a Som round there through and through for NRG.
Yep.
They were outplayed through the round.
Revealing area.
Som's dealing with flashes from his teammates too. It's a little bit funny, but I mean, apart from this spam kill that Brock had, it's just Som. Because you have to remember, Bane was left sitting in mid. He killed 2 players that were rotating over for NRG. NRG were hoping to play for mid control to fast flood into A, but between the Viper wall and the location Bane was in, that was very difficult.
And so an exhale as NRG get on the board. We saw the problems with the Odin. Ethan's got his ult here, light armor on everyone.
Where are you? Marked 1.
And DRX not playing fast. Same smoke as we talked about in the previous round, though, that aggressive B main smoke.
Yep. Trying to step up into mid behind the knife, trying to step up behind the smoke in B main, or at least threaten it. That said, this time DRX are positioned to try and re-clear into B main and figure out exactly how NRG have been holding it. I mean, it's wild that NRG have committed yet another smoke into main.
But, I mean, I look at those 2 smokes alone, and that tells me that the approach on the other side of the timeout was to deny space.
Yeah. And ultimately, over on the A side of the map, you don't need those Omen smokes when you can just toss up a Viper wall of your own.
3rd Omen smoke, B-main.
And now the re-clear will come. But you have to keep in mind, Hyunmin and Bane both with the ultimates. They can overwhelm the site, so the positions of NRG are not to really fight it out here. Instead, it's to play back into heaven and then try to retake with Ethan's own ult.
Assuming he stays alive, Mata has to keep him up. Just waiting on the other side of the wall. It's going to be a quick draw. It goes down.
30 seconds left.
Mata spots his shoulders, fights into the swing, gets the best of flashback, gets freeing 2. Now the ult hits out onto the site. The paranoia should buy a little bit of time. The defenses of NRG looking to stand strong, looking to hold.
And look at this, Doug. Mata quickly on the flank through mid with only 12 seconds left on the clock. NRG are moving in.
Flash over the
10
top.
seconds left.
DRX through, Mata with 3 on the round, make that 4. Looking for the ace, and Mata delivers.
Welcome to the big stage, Mata. Smile on his face.
30 seconds left.
He is no stranger to the ace. 10 domestically
10 seconds left.
in his first year in Americas.
Remaining.
And now here, just thriving in the chaos.
That's another one. That's another one.
He's just racking them up. Bands on bands.
Fast A for DRX here. Little utility over top, the eye cleared out. The wall is there.
Yeah, I think
And
we're gonna.
so is Mata.
I think we're gonna eventually end up seeing Mako enter the back lines with his ultimate. Comboed with the Nightfall, that can be extremely disruptive. Once you're denied the audio, you have no idea where that Omen goes. You don't even know he ulted.
So with 3 here, it looks like they just picked up the orb and rotated away.
Yeah, now they've got the Your ult as well.
And freeing's 1 off of the pit.
Yeah, DRX can just do a bit of bullying here. They have higher tempo on those ults than NRG, who are 1 and 2 off of Brock and Scuba respectively. But they've got a good 3 hold here on NRG's side.
Yeah, in the face of these ults, though, that's a different beast. DRX continue to push NRG to spots where they have to respond.
Typically, Hyunmin's been diving to the left side here into Yard. That's where Mata's going to be playing. We'll see if he can take the 1v1 against the other Waylay.
Flashback, taking all of this space and elbow, getting all the info that he possibly can, and there's Winman not far off. You mentioned the Nightfall. It's actually a TP coming through from Som.
30 seconds
As Mata
left.
waits for the challenge, waits for the swing. TP proc the fights there, and it's Flashback who comes out on top. Scuba's gonna try to do a bit of the same on the other side of the smoke. Double face on the other side of it. Patiently waiting, they swing, they get his. But Brock with the Odin also crumbles. Gets his 1, and now the ult pop. 10 seconds left, the spike still goes down. This is a dangerous spot. Manages to stay alive. With the Odin, what can he do to take this back? one of the newest additions to the team, again, has to play savior for NRG. And DRX have been so airtight, so rock steady. Brock creeping forward, looking for a fight. He will slowly inch his way up. A tap of the spike. That eye's not going to tag him. Brock's going to stick it. Oh, he had a shot. Gets down to 1v1. Freeing's on the challenge, and it was a tap at just the wrong time.
Brock gets caught on the most brutal timing of all time. And again, it's just DRX carving up this A site. Bane just lethal with it. 3 kills
Player standing.
on the approach from Yard. Steady 2 in the post plant. The actual site holds for NRG continue to just be paper.
Toxins going up.
DRX. And the only real response from NRG has been threatening B main over and over again. And I mean, DRX are like, okay, sure, we'll just keep going A because he can't hold that side of the map.
Mod is up really early with an op. Has the TP procced. Jump spots that again. Gets away. Whew, risky, but they're chasing him down. Brock tries to fill in on the space. Spam coming through the most uncomfortable position, and eventually the spam connects.
And at the same time, Mako from the shadows into the back line now. DRX surrounding NRG on this A site. Some does well to shut him down.
The op, just off the mark, flashed up. But once again, DRX get the openers. They get the site. They get the space. Freeing's gonna catch Scuba too.
He saw him. What?
Oh no, what happened there? Freeing misplays that horribly. And now they're gonna rotate back onto B, and the defenses are gonna be there first.
Yeah, he expected Scuba to keep on walking forward now. All of a sudden, it's a bit of a mess. 30 seconds left onto the clock. Scuba still has a molly, and has the wall.
And Mata has an op and will have the line.
Oh!
There it is, the collat! On to 2, Scuba gets the last. NRG gets a 3.
Mata playing with the crowd as well.
And they respond.
I mean, sure. Take every lucky break you can get. Still have no idea what just happened there in mid. That was wild. The start of this round was such a disaster too. Brock getting spammed away. Taste of his own medicine, but through Hyunmin's hand and into Flashback's chest, that collat wins the round for NRG.
Yes, man! Yes!
So maybe Mata is the spark after all. 9 and 6 still has the op in play, and DRX's attack side has slowed down. Not just in the rounds they're winning, but in the pace they're pushing. As Mata gets another opener.
Shadows traveling.
First time ever, DRX's econ broken, but not in Hyunmin's hands.
No.
In and out, an assassin.
They're gonna push behind this though, and Sam's ready for it. Mako a bit too far up. Still a couple of rifles to play on the side of DRX.
The flash is brutal.
60 HP, but Sam swings, gets 3.
Spike down A.
31 HP. How in the world does he do this? I don't think he can. NRG gets a 4, and all of a sudden, yeah, they might have a shot at this thing.
Hey, take this next round, then I'll start believing it.
Sure.
But NRG, you can see a bit of the excitement on stage. I mean, even just Mata there after playing up with the crowd.
One enemy remaining.
Feeling the hype going from the early peak down into mid.
스파이크가 A 지점에 떨어졌습니다.
That has been severely lacking so far today.
The heavy double dive full send onto site, dump everything, and overwhelm the defense of NRG has stopped. It's not even, it seems to me like it's not even like they're still trying to do it and NRG have been able to navigate around it and find a way to beat the good against good. It seems like, to me, DRX's approach has changed.
Yeah, they've started to add some more layers. You saw that in the round prior to this one where they tried to go for that A split and the lurk was just a bit of a disaster. They call out of it. So I think they're trying to not be so predictable for NRG, where I'm not sure they necessarily need to do that.
Right.
You know, this last round, it's an eco, you ignore it, whatever, it's no big deal. But at the end of the day, you just look at your scoreboard and, well, you're going to have a Fade ult, you're going to have a Waylay ult. Like, let's just hit a site. The NRG have not proven that they are able to hold that site outside of what we literally just saw, and that was when DRX are on a half buy, you know?
Yeah, if it ain't broke. But DRX decided to make changes anyway. Maybe they go back to the tried and true on the other side of this timeout. As we near the end of the first half.
It's a bit peculiar to me that Mata has an Outlaw in his inventory. You can see DRX with enough money to force up into heavy armors and rifles. It's only Flashback that's vulnerable.
Note here, the 3 ults on the side of the attack too. There's Mata with that Outlaw. Looking for a challenge, will not find one early on. And now look at the adjustment from side of NRG. No longer dropping that aggro B main smoke.
It's an A instead, right? That one going onto that side. I don't know how to draw. But ultimately, I think what DRX have spoken about in the timeout is they're inclined to believe that NRG are filling into some of the space, taking forward space in main. So they were holding for a mid walk, seeing if Mata was going to go all the way through that. Now they can regroup, test into B, where they've seen so much attention early, but that's, again, an early KO knife that doesn't give good information, and now eats up all their stall.
Ethan's using it right off respawn. Right off timings. Scuba has tucked. And he was a menace from this exact position for NRG in their previous series. Tucked behind the wall, he's gonna get another one, isn't he? Finds Flashback, trigger discipline, but no. Fires a little bit too early. He gets one, but DRX take the site.
30 seconds left.
It's a little bit delayed, a little bit of hesitation, but the outcome's the same.
Welcome to my world.
Scuba's going to spend a long time thinking about that round. Had a chance to be the dagger in the back of DRX, but now that responsibility moves to Mata and Brock. And the weaponry just isn't really there. Mata's looking at a full HP Bane in main.
He's got to take this line to maybe get a gun upgraded, but Bane is there waiting, as you mentioned.
There's just no way.
No, Brock 1v3, he's got the Odin. He'll get one. Dropping into the pit, forced to take the fight. And it's just not when you're going to win there.
And that's wild, too, because I think Scuba's having an incredible tournament. Like, even in the tough halves that NRG played in their opening series, even in the loss in that first map, Scuba's been pretty lights out. But he missed his chance to get the first kill. Amazingly, still turns around and gets one guy before being taken down. But he was being asked for a whole lot more in a position like that. He just couldn't deliver in the heat of the moment.
And it was, again, off of the unyielding, fully send out onto site for DRX.
Toxins going up.
And so they go back to their tried and true, and it nets them another round win.
Yeah, we're going to close out this half with another Yoru ult. I believe that's 3 now.
And it's going to be another B hit, I think. I mean, they're gathering up. Scuba's jump spotting, but that's danger because you've got Waylay who's going to double dive onto you. And then what? But he takes a step back, pushes off the line. Ethan has joined, does not have knife.
Yep. NRG eat up some of the gas, and it's time to go into this site. No info on Scuba.
Yeah. Flashback only spotting one. Ethan now 2, TP's out. And it's Mako who fills in, but they're stalling out onto the site. The Parano's going to buy a little bit of time once again. Scuba can play spoiler. Once again, Scuba can deliver, and he does. 2 found. Onto the third, but of course.
And now Mata's here on the flank.
He's got the op in hand. Slowly swinging out onto the site. Trying to get the spike down. He spotted him, but is he going to land the shot? Patience with it right on the mark. And it's going to be him in a 1v2. He's going to be able to get his ones as well, isn't he? The Brock. Odin on the other side, and it's Mata that closes it out. NRG salvage 5 on a half that felt like they were lucky to get this far.
I mean, look, it's a breath of life at the end there for NRG, but every single round felt like it needed multiple things to go perfectly well. This game has delivered so far, but if we're going to see a map 3, NRG need to show up. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
30 seconds.
these white lies got me hypnotized. Get out of my head, get into my bed, I'm broken. It's only a matter of time. Shifting my paradigms. You hold me, you hurt me, I'm sinking and drowning, and I don't deserve it. Your heart is frozen. The water is rising, and I'm just a drop in the ocean. Falling, slow motion. You're a tsunami, and I'm just a drop in the ocean. I'm Gucci, you're a virgin. I'm Gucci, you're a virgin.
You know, they say history has a tendency to repeat itself, and for DRX, it feels a bit more like fate here on the global stage as they're once again pushing their way out of group stage into the playoff stage. They're up 2 rounds on NRG. Christian, we'll take a look at the Coinbase Econ report. A lot of it was off of the backs of Flashback.
Yeah.
He was insane.
DRX have never failed to make it out of groups, and Flashback is trying to make that a certainty here in 2025. You got to remember, he's stepped into the secondary duelist role with the team and has been lights out on the Ori. You think back to how many rounds it was just him winning it out from the pistol, getting 3 kills on that one, to having 3 ultimates in the opening half. He was just a force to be reckoned with.
And, you know, we don't give a ton of love to Hinman there because his job kind of sucks. He has to go in, he draws crosshairs, sometimes he gets picked, other times he's able to get away. But I think without him doing that for Flashback, I don't know that he finds that same success. DRX seem to have perfected this comp.
They absolutely have, but on the defense side of things, the approach has to change a little bit. As we saw back on Haven with the double duelists, they were fighting forward a lot, fighting down multiple lanes at the same time, but also being so quick on the retakes, flooding into sight, denying the plant from going down. See what they have in store for us here this time around.
All right, with Flash up high, the wall will go through. 2 members of the defense here. Flashback not far off. There's a double dash from Mata out onto the site. They've gotten the space, but now what?
The fight forward into elbow. That's the idea for NRG.
Whoa, they're scaling with the spike. They're not even concerned about getting it down. They want to take this fight all the way up. And Freeing jumps down from heaven, gets the best of Mata. But Scuba and Brock are there to wait and greet with open arms.
Last player
What a
standing.
chaotic pistol. And as the dust settles, Bane is left in a 1v4, trying to spam through the smoke, trying to get a free one. It will not be allotted, at least not yet.
Find you.
Such a wild approach.
So clever. Look, the thing is, NRG know that DRX are going to love to fast flood back into the site, rotate through mid. So what do? They fight elbow, claim heaven control for themselves, and then pinch back down onto the site. It's like they were the ones that were actually playing defense.
Sure.
And DRX were running a B split on them. It was really cool. Even though Mata dropped early on into that
Scuba's
play,
hiding from behind.
I don't think DRX
Scuba's
had any
hiding
clue
from
how to
it.
react.
All smiles as NRG win their first pistol of the series.
They can do it.
I mean, it desperately needed one too. And it looks like they're back to picking on B main.
Pretty reserved buy for them as well. They want to give DRX a bit of taste of their own medicine too, with nice pathing, diving up onto the box. I don't know about that one, Mata.
Unfortunate timing there, but manages to stay alive. There's the swing onto Bane. Bullet between his eyes, and all of a sudden the defense gets a little bit lighter, a little bit weaker. Wow. You want to get out of this as cleanly as you can. That's one Guardian down. All you've got left is the Vandal. They cannot afford this. The disaster that this would be. They've got to find a way to convert here. And DRX are ripping this out of their hands. Mako gets 3. Brock left in a 1v2. Whispers of nightmare creep over their shoulder as DRX snatches it away.
I don't know if they're still going to be smiling, Doug. It looks awfully quiet down on that stage, at least in the NRG camp. And this is, again, that same idea, fighting up into heaven, this time teleporting in there from Psalm.
적군이 한 명 남았습니다.
That one gets away from them, and the brutal thing is you don't have time to think it over.
No.
You just gotta go next.
I mean, at least they can buy because they only bought 2 real rifles in the last round.
Kill all your opponents.
But the momentum, the pace setting, the tone of this half has already been set.
NRG have to win this round, and the econ is shattered.
Pacey towards A paranoia to pave the way for Mata.
Yeah, just trying to get Mata up into Link here. He actually has to dive away. The threat of the Prowler on his heel.
They're fully faking this B hit. A flash over the top, a smoke through, but they're not biting. They still have mid control. DRX are still A.
Mako is still waiting by elbow, right on the other side of this wall.
And Yunmin here. There's Mako. Sam gets the best of him. But there's still threat on the other side of this smoke. Yunmin creeping forward. Swings a bit aggressively. Ambitious, perhaps, and pays for it.
And that was a very signature NRG round. They are great at freezing after they've made a lot of space, especially onto the A site. See DRX a little bit uncomfortable. How to deal with that once NRG went quiet, although now Bane finding that opener, right back in things.
4v3, the spike is down, a couple members on side of NRG are
This
weak.
mid-fight.
Goes the way of DRX, and all of a sudden, becomes a bit more problematic. Again, look at the health bars on the side of NRG. Time is so short, though, and I think they're calling the save.
Yeah, Fring's not trying to play the round. I mean, credit to NRG there. Being able to find their way onto the A site. You think about things, because they had lost the previous round. If they lose this one, that's only 2 losses in a row. It's a very different situation than if they'd lost the pistol as well, they'd be maxed out on the loss bonus. No, instead, NRG would have had absolutely nothing. This was a critical one for them.
The money would have been a disaster.
Yep. And there's going to continue to be many of these critical rounds as we move forward here. Those rounds
that can go wrong is gonna go wrong today. Everything that can go wrong will.
And it sort of has been so far.
See the buy for DRX, it's not great. 2 rifles. Pace out of A, though. This is a cheeky little setup, and they're rewarded for it. Scuba gets caught asleep at the wheel.
That's what our NRG do. Force up into mid, but this hold from Flashback is perfect.
Beautiful off angle. Remember, this buy was not great. Remember, they only had 2 rifles. They've already gotten 2 picks, and Flashback's getting another. And so once again, the Thrifty from a couple of rounds ago rears its ugly head. NRG are trying to push their way back out onto the site, but it's another nightmare. It's a flawless round as DRX punch back.
Those words you just heard from Scuba have a little bit extra weight behind them after a round like that. He had said that after a win, but he's feeling it after a loss. Didn't even have a chance in that round. Caught out by the Saturate, trying to jump away. There's no way you're escaping from Yunmin.
And so Murphy continues to be a problem for NRG.
Wow. They continue to just try and force round after round down to nothing. 2 stingers in the inventory.
Gonna fall back here.
Flash over the top, paranoia. NRG looking to give them a bit of their own medicine. An aggressive hit towards A, but they stall out and Sam gets caught. Sticks to TP and overstays his welcome. And they haven't gotten onto the site. The spike hits the ground. Traded back though, and they're in a position where they can recover it. They're in a position where they can play around it.
It's all going to come down to this flank from Freeing.
Yeah, DRX with the numbers advantage. And there's nothing really to check it. They have to face hold this if you're NRG, and they're not. And so they huddle up. They continue to push further and further into the site. Try to play around the advantages they have. But the gun barrel gives Scuba away. Freeing gets the pick. And now they're going to be able to pop the ult too. That's going to make this so much messier. Bane and Mako. The only 2 left out onto the site, swinging around a tap of the spike. Mata and Brock repositioning, looking to take this fight somewhere else, as Mata does. Bane into the swing, Mata gets 3. And NRG get away with the round.
That's a great post plant there for Mata. The reposition out of elbow into yard. And from his spot too, he can see that spike ticking down. Fortunate there that Flashback had just teleported over into deep A, so he's holding. Here's the Omen ult and shakes it down.
Enemy remaining.
But yeah, from where Mata is, he doesn't have to actually peek Mako or Bane or anyone. You can see whether or not that spike is actually being defused.
An outlaw for Flashback. Currently up across the middle of the map, where Mata should be playing close by.
Yeah, funky there. This attack smoke being dropped there into B main. Threatens a pop out on either side. Knife pushed away anyone near on the other side. So DRX are going to commit 3 players towards B early on into the round. This could be a situation where Flashback just pops the Yoru ult into mid-round for information. Very likely. Especially if NRG keep winding down the clock.
Here.
Dog clearing out B main early on. You see Freeing taking some of that space. Saw him just far off that line. They're going to rotate back into this. Again, Freeing has taken this line, but he is alone. There's not a lot of help here. Meanwhile, the ult is popped mid. Freeing realizing he's in a position to make a play. Gets his one. That's all it is. And now it's on Bane who's going to be challenged. Flashback has joined. Saw him TPing forward right into his death. As Bane's there to meet him, gets another. Not able to connect onto the third, and there is the outlaw. Flashback connects. Brock in the face of 3. Cannot convert. DRX get to double digits.
DRX seem to have all the answers, and Flashback in particular. They've clued in on this idea that NRG are just forcing round after round so often on those light armors. So what better than the outlaw? What better than Bane from that position? I mean, that was just class.
Yeah, well, I mean, also fully Flash getting the kill, like... Sometimes you play Valorant, sometimes Valorant plays you, man. I don't know.
Not much you can ask for in that spot.
And so a timeout called from NRG. Down 2 rounds. This tit for tat. I mean, you take a look at the timeline, it's actually insane. They've traded blows every single round this half.
Yeah, got back and forth, but it has felt like it's been DRX seizing those rounds away from NRG,
yeah,
right?
Agreed,
That second round, round 16 as well, rounds that NRG were in good positions to win. And just through individual moments of brilliance, a good general game plan from DRX, it has been hard for NRG to find the answers.
That's exactly what Blancard is in a position to have to do and have to deliver for his squad. And so on the other side of the timeout, see the purchase not great for the attack. A Vandal, a Stinger. So you presume that DRX will be able to get to 11 and then the game will really start. But we'll see. We've seen a couple of silly rounds so far. This is going to be fast into mid. It looks like the paranoia, the double dash off the knife to take a challenge. They continue to ask Mata to deliver, and they're giving him the tools to do it.
Yeah, so often he's just dropped back, though, and with Ethan dropping out of the round, this one, it seems cooked.
Well, Murphy's Law striking again. I mean, Scuba said it, and honestly, with how this has gone, I am inclined to agree, but also nothing to take away from DRX here. They've played so damn well.
I mean, it's just been amazing seeing Flashback perform at such a high level on the duelist role. You know, if you're watching Bangkok, he was rocking some Senti for the team, was still putting up
insane
major numbers. Yeah. But it just feels like he's been so freed up to go for the plays he wants to go for and give himself some of that agency with the flashes to take those fights, whether it's on the Yoru or Neon.
Interesting using the Nightfall.
Yeah, I think we thought it was a B split coming in.
Yeah, on the timing, which makes sense, and they're still hedging their bets. You still have Flashback rotating. You still have Bane and Mako A. It's still a flawless round for DRX.
All right, it is now do or die for NRG. They've got a buy, they've got ults, they've got Brock's Odin. And for a team that is filled with so many rookies, now Ethan and Som, they've got the experience. But a guy like Mata, he came into the league, tore up the leaderboard
They might try to pick on Scuba again. Oh, he just barely gets away. That had trouble written all over it. And so off of that, the response is they try to speed up B off of Ethan's ult. Mata TP's forward, spams into the smoke, gets one. You mentioned this was do or die. They have to find a way through, but flashback. Hits where it hurts, into the second. Brock falls, tucks back, looks for another fight. And it's Freeing who joins in on the fray. Things slow down into a 2v2 with the pit. Actually, forget about slowing down. They want to continue to push the pace. Ethan will drop a volley to provide a little bit of cover, provide a little bit of space. Dropping down from over the box. Ethan is there to greet. Mako left in a 1v2. Decay down to next to nothing. Ethan gets 4. NRG get to 9.
A major round there from the newer IGL on NRG. Ethan stepped into that role in stage 2. Led his team to the best finish all year. Revived this roster. And also can put up rounds like that. 4 kills for him. It's all of a sudden that spark has been ignited for NRG.
And that spark has been there a few times, but every time DRX snuff it out, they squelch it.
Flash.
And so can they do it again?
Well, we're just back to the B site. NRG want to get in and get in quick.
A barrage of utility soars into the site. And then they TP back out, finding out that nobody's home. But DRX are there, they're knocking on the door, they're waiting to flood.
Nowhere to run.
And that might just be the cue. If they can find space around it. Brock pops his ult. No target found, but there's Bane with 2.
Spike down B.
The scale up might be a bit too far. There's Windman, but Mata's there to greet him. Outlaw not connecting. Just off the mark.
Enemy remaining.
It's all on to Mako now. A 1v2 and a winnable one. Paranoia will buy a little bit of time. NRG slow things down. Mako, can you pull this one off?
Spike planted.
Quietly put in a position to play spoiler. Such a tenured player, historic. And again, thrust into a spot to be iconic once more. Mako playing up in heaven. Looking for a fight. And it's not being given to him now. Getting active. And Mata is the one who stops it. NRG gets to double digits.
Finally, NRG put 2 rounds together. That had been eluding them in this half, and they go back to the pistol strats to do it. This fight into elbow seems to be something they love, even if it is close on the engagement. Wow. A lot of covering his teammate there is priceless.
Good job, Adam. Good job, bro.
To go back to this idea that, you know, a guy like Scuba or Brock or Mata can be so good back on the Americas stage. You know, you can be a great player in Americas, but you don't enter that conversation of superstar for a guy like Mata to take it over back at home until you show up on that global stage. You can't afford to peter out. You can't afford to have those bad maps, and I think Mata has continued to deliver here in Paris.
22 and 14. All right, Scuba's another one who's been real big, but Flashback has just been the star of the series, the star of the day. DRX call a timeout, though. For the first time this half, we have 2 teams winning back-to-back rounds. DRX win 2 of their own, and NRG are able to respond. And so, you know, this does feel like 2 heavyweights trading blows.
Absolutely. And DRX, they're not in a tough position financially or anything like that. They're going to continue to have buys here. What I'm really looking at is Flashback's ultimate. You think about the last time he used it, it actually kind of petered out. He tried to use it for mid-round information the same time NRG were popping an exec onto the B site. The timing there has to be a little bit better, and, well, he's switched over to an operator. And he has been carving NRG up with the Outlaw. I can only imagine what he's going to do with that weapon.
Oh, we won't have to imagine for long. He's going to have this aggressive A line. Meanwhile, the Viper wall from NRG across the middle of the map.
Ahead.
And he's been taking the Outlaw into mid more often than not. The A line might be a bit of a surprise.
Inman here might be too, but that knife will tag. They're going to try to split out onto B. The Paranoia will provide a little cover, but he didn't get tagged, and so it's traded back, and Mako's there.
Down mid.
So all of a sudden, this hit starts to stall out.
Where
starts
is
to
Scuba
lose a
going?
little bite. Yeah, and Scuba's gone exploring with the spike. He cannot get caught here.
It's so major that Flashback doesn't find him. Scuba has a chance to pop a timing that DRX have no clue could happen.
And also, if he falls with the spike, the round might be over. I mean, this is playing on a knife's edge.
There's only one guy left on the site. Freeing has to fall for NRG to win this. There's no way the timings!
He turns, he spots them. Freeing falls, and now the site is theirs. However, Flashback has arrived, switching over to a Phantom. 3 more targets waiting as the flank shows up from Bane a little bit further away. But should arrive just on time. NRG looking to tie us up, looking to potentially take us to Lotus. But DRX in a spot to play spoiler. Flashback in a 1v3. 23 and 15 so far. And we'll need 3 more to pull this one off. That's his one, but 30 HP. The possibility, the opportunity, it dwindles, it fades away. And with that, Flashback takes a step back. He's saving the gun, he's getting out. NRG will tie us up.
The presence of mind there from Scuba. After the disaster that happened in mid for NRG, to gamble it up into spawn. I mean, that is as risky a play as you can make, right? That is a play that you will get laughed at forever if you die with that spike in spawn. There's no way to recover that. The round is over. But sometimes, desperate times call for desperate measures. That's exactly what was asked of Scuba in that round. And it was that decision that won it for NRG.
Enemy remaining.
It's a fine line between infamy and and something much greater. And oh. But alas, they avoid that disaster. They tie us up at 11. Flashback has the op. We talked about it, and look at where he's posted up right now. Look at where NRG is. They're going right into the teeth of it. Immediately flashed, immediately pushed back. And now they're going to speed up, give them a bit of their own medicine. Flashback strikes, and he's going to double dip. He's sticking around, has no choice, digs his heels in. Connects onto Ethan, and Bane is here. Flashback gets another. Only one way through, and that's forward for Flashback. He's gonna pop the flash, shorty in hand. A second set of Bane pushes it out and pays for it with his life. And NRG avoid that mess. Look at their health bars. Slivers,
Spike planted.
scraps. But hope dies last.
Player standing.
The swing out and Som connects. Mako in a 1v3. Again, as storied as he is, once again, travels the world and now has a chance to play for the crown, to play for the throne, to push DRX past NRG, but he's saving, he's out of the play, he's cutting his losses, he's tucking tail.
It's another round DRX are forced to save, and another round where it feels like they have no chance to get back into the site. NRG winning with numbers. This is a far cry from what we saw previously. DRX stealing rounds away, DRX winning handedly, and NRG limping out with a round win. This is now an NRG in control.
And this is now an NRG that has pulled off another comeback on the attacking side. They're figuring things out on the fly, which is something that eluded them in the past, and this is in the face of, I mean, Flashback was a proper menace.
Oh yeah.
In that entire round. Did his damnedest to get them that far, but NRG rattle off 4 in a row.
Exactly, and by winning those rounds in a row, they now no longer have to worry about the operator. NRG scrounging something together here, but mid is the focus.
Mata has an outlaw 4 members with light armor on the defense. Oh. Missing the pick.
I'd imagine, yeah, there's a gun waiting for him in B main, so he can switch over to that after he takes some peeks on forward.
Yeah, but for now, double outlaw in the hands of them.
That's just a good read, knowing the light armor's on the other side. Here it comes.
Fill in behind it, love that idea, only show 1.
What it does mean, though, is the clock starts to get chewed up. NRG at some point have to ditch these guns and pick up the rifles.
Still a minute to play with. Mata has his ult, Scuba has his ult too.
By all accounts, NRG have everything they need to win the round, but it has been when NRG are vastly favored that DRX make magic happen.
And so DRX look like they'll be forced to make a final stand on B. That's where NRG are headed. Either they take us to Lotus or it's OT on the cards. Standing at the side of B, looking to storm the gates, the ult's out to dash through. I think Mata got tagged.
Uh-oh, Doug. This flank is quick. 2 players coming in very, very soon. DRX have NRG surrounded. But there's no way out but forward.
But they're scaling forward, you're absolutely right. Looking to take that elbow fight. We'll see if the call is right. Mata falls. Freeing there at the ready is Paranoia invested too, and all of a sudden you feel the walls closing in. Claustrophobic for NRG. As they have no way out, they're forced to deal with this. They're forced to try to take this fight, and they walk away on top of 3v3. The spike ticking away, and now it's on DRX. The onus is on them. They're the ones who have to get active. Tap of the spike to force the fight. The spam comes through. Som, Shorty connects. Mako once again a 1v3. Try to keep them alive, and he cannot. We're going the distance. We're going to Lotus.
Som the hero. 3 kills with the Shorty in the pit. NRG have woken up. Map 3 awaits.